it's me, Jen, your pudgy picker, here again at my desk, ready to do another haul. You know, I do many different kinds of hauls. I do garage sale hauls and auction hauls and thrift store hauls, but this is the best haul of them all. It's vacation hauls. If you're anything like me, when you go vacationing, if you're a reseller, or even if you're not, if I'm driving, I'm definitely going to look, because then I don't worry about carrying stuff back. So I bought a whole bunch of things to resell. I didn't think it was as much until I got the car emptied and I kind of got it laid out, and I was like, I guess I did buy a little more than I thought. So I have a couple stories for you afterwards, because you know I always have stories, and this trip was no exception. So we went to Tennessee at a place called Fairfield Glade. They are supposedly the golf capital of Tennessee. Don't care. Don't play. Do you play golf? Yeah, I guess you play golf. No. So we just went down there to relax, and we stayed at a nice place. That's a whole nother story. I'll get to that. I just kind of am just grubby looking, but you're just going to deal with it because the hair doesn't look too bad. It needs a cut. It's getting big. But I wanted to show you what I got. I was not sure if I had a lot, but I guess I do. So I have a few clothes, which usually when I go thrifting, I don't find too many clothes when I'm vacationing, like if I'm at a different thrift store. But I found, I think 2 or 3 pieces, and they were like $1.99 each. So, yeah. So let me show you those first. This real pretty dress. This is a Speed Control New York. Never heard of the name brand. It is a 3X. It is a lined dress. And the outside is this sheer, and it's kind of got this, I don't know, like a butterfly or bat sleeve, bat wing. And then here at the waist, it's stretchy, but it's very long, very pretty. Oh, I think that's so pretty. It'd be great for summer. So that will go down. I got a lot of clothes I'm going to be photographing this week. Another dress, surprisingly, this one is a Lane Bryant 26-28 sleeveless. So here's what it looks like. It's kind of like a abstract chevron. Ooh, how's that for a fancy name? So here's what it looks like. Has a higher waist, but it is really long. And for those of us girls who are tall, which is me, I don't know. If you've never seen me in real life, you have no idea. Isn't it funny when you hear about somebody and you're like, oh, that's really tall, or wow, that's really short. I am 5'10". I am a very tall girl. Tall runs in my family. My sister, I think, is the shortest, and she's like 5'7". So we grown big over here. Let's see. This is a Catherine's. I believe this is a blouse. And the tag is cut out. So what I'll do is I'll look on the inside and see if the other tag is there. If not, I'll measure it and put it in the description box. Most people know what they wear when they wear certain name brand clothes. So this is a real pretty blouse, really light. It's nice and light, but it's not real sheer. We have 3/4 sleeves. And there's what it looks like. And then on the front, we got just a couple of these simple buttons and like a V-neck. I'm guessing this is a 3 or 4X because of just holding it up. I do know Catherine's sizes do run larger. Mr. Pudgy Picker, I have 2 sets of sheets, so we always switch them out. So one's either in the laundry, folded up, or on the bed. And I have the same pillowcases for him. He's got the big king size ones. But they're getting kind of, I don't know, they're getting kind of beat up. And I think they were actually like a Walmart purchase at one point. So yeah, he's been needing another one. So I found this set, pair of king, and they were $3 for the 2. And they got the little dandelion poofs on them. I like dandelion poofs on my bedding and not in my yard. So, you know, I don't mind the weeds. My only issue, okay, here's where my OCD kicks in, is when I mow, it looks great. And then the next day, these dandelions, the stems, they are standing this high. Like, and they look like you weren't even out there. You could probably stand there and watch the dumb things grow. Ugh. But anyway, these are 2 nice big king size pillowcases. So wash those up. Found a lot of fabric down there, so I don't know if more people sew. Hey, it was good for me. The only issue is when you have fabric in a place where you don't see a lot of fabric, like up around me, they price it pretty cheap. But when I'm down in Amish country or I'm somewhere else where I do find a lot of fabric, it's a little more than I normally pay because they sell a lot more of it, so they know it's worth more. Does that make sense? So I'm just going to go through briefly. I don't even think I'm going to open these bags. They had just bags of fabric. So if it's even a half of a yard up to a yard or more, I can price it individually. And if not, then I fold them up real nice and stack them, and then I just sell it in a bundle. So that being said, you know what, maybe I should just open it. So this bag was $4. I think most of these were 4, maybe one was 5. So we have butterflies. Let's see. We got suns. Those are pretty. We have sewing fabric. We have some of this quilted with the plaid. Some little pieces in here with looks like frogs and stuff. So again, those will go in a scrap bag. We have this one. We have some bears. We have more butterflies. And then, I don't know, these are just little squares of stuff, which is fine. Whenever I find any of this, they sell pretty good for me. What's this one? This one has it's got an old beat up truck with an American flag. And then this one, oh, it almost looks like an Asian panel or something. Isn't that pretty? So there's that. So that was all for $4. And I have this, which I purchased because I need something like this for carrying things around my house. How much did I think I paid $2.99 for that. Yeah, I found the tag on the floor, so I think that's what it came to. I'm sorry I'm not super organized. I have this and other videos to get ready. Mr. Pudgy Picker, we've been back probably 4 or 5 days. He's got a cold. Very bad cold. I gave him a COVID test today and he was negative, but he's pretty sad looking. So we got $4 for this bag. And this one has like flowered. I'll just go through these quick. Some people look for these smaller prints. Depending on what you're doing, if you're making something smaller, or even doll clothes or anything, you can't have too big of a print or it just looks weird. There's a purple one, and then there's that one. Ooh, it looks like somebody's starting to make something there. And then this green one. Oh, that's pretty. There's green too. More pink. Some more flowers. Flowers. I just love that green one. And then this one. And then a couple more squares. Somebody was making something. Tape measures. It looks like it's quilted, but it's not. I'm dropping stuff on the floor. And that's it. So this whole pile is 4. Usually I really fill up like a sandwich bag stuffed, and probably put 4 or 5 on that. These ones were 5. So we got exploring cats. We have handprints. Oh, we're so cute. More kitties. But look, there's like some standing up, some are in a hat. I got that one. Oh, these are cute. Isn't that sweet? We have a teacher one. Oh, this looks vintage. Whoa. Look at that. It's like little happy bears spending time together. Oh, that's so adorable. We have skateboards and teddy bears. Oh, look at that. That's a pretty good piece. Bugs Bunny. We have fishing and kites. We have birds, flamingos, ostriches, more birds, and more birds, and yet more birds. This is probably like a Halloween. We have animals. this one's got chickens and a farmer on it. What's that? And this one. Oh, those are birdhouses. I got several pieces of the birdhouse one. There's another one. We have some, ooh, that's a decent chunk of some brown camo. And then a decent chunk of, it's cotton, but it feels silky. Very cute little woodland creatures. So we got raccoons and foxes and owls and bunnies and deer. So there's that. Now just keep in mind, I sell my fabric for $1 or for $3 for a yard. So that one alone should do really well because it has a couple pieces that have, looks like at least a yard. I know if you're not into the fabric, just hang in there. I got more goodies coming. This one I think was $3. So we have some shamrocks, some green, and ooh, we're sliding. That one, and then some white. Oh, this has the postage stamp of the 9/11. That's a pretty decent chunk of fabric. We have some football, and then that one, and then some floral, and more floral. Just throwing this in that basket, and then I can go sit in the living room and watch some YouTube and get these all wound up and priced. Okay, this bag was $5. So we have kind of this countryish one, and then we have a whole bunch of stripes and some flowers, and then little teeny flowers, and then some tie-dye. Oh, that's cute. Squares that are polka dots. Flowers. This one looks like someone was starting to put something together. Yeah, look at that. So that would make a nice pillow. This looks like, I don't know, wheat or something. We have some white. We have some green. A little bit of gray. Some of that. That's not sewn together. It's just done that way. We have some purple plaid. And then some green and pink hearts. We got a couple pieces cut. I've sold this fabric a million times. Good gracious. That one. And then we have a couple that are, you know, made to look like they're quilts. This is pretty. Look at these pretty sewing scissors. You remember the stork ones? I think every mother had one of those. Another square somebody made, and then that. So yeah. Oops, and I just dropped all of my receipts that I stacked up nicely. Okay. All my receipts from vacation. Okay. Okay, we got 2 more bags of fabric and then on to the other stuff. This bag was 4. So we got some cut up. This is cute. Look at that one. That's probably a fat quarter, I would imagine. This looks like it's pillows maybe or something. Yeah. Different size and colors and designs. And then some little hearts. And then looks like more hearts, but they're blue. These hearts and these hearts. Hope the TV isn't too loud. He's actually feeling up to turning the TV on. Every time I go in the room, he's just like, you know how men are. But I do feel bad for him when he's sick. Well, this looks like little girls with flowers, or are they angels or fairies? Because I think they have wings. There's a decent amount there. I have some more hearts and some birds. And then this one says hope. And then there's that one. More hearts. This one says be my Valentine. So maybe I'll put all the heart ones together and sell them together. There's more. And more. And more. And then this one. And then this one. So yeah. I think this one actually looks to be flower garden pattern. So if these are mostly done or whatever, I will sell these on eBay. Yeah. Aw. Somebody's hard work. So I'll just go through these quick. So you might even recognize. There's another one. And that one? So the flower garden was the one I saw on top. I know some of these are called other things. Look at the fancy stitching on there. And then that one. There's several. Oh, there's a whole bunch of these. So I may just sell these together. It looks like they just put this piece on the back and then we're doing the decorative stitching. So there's another one and then another one. Yeah, because see, here's the one with all the stitching on it. That's what they wanted it to look like. Yeah, so we'll see what I can do with those. But that's all the fabric. Let's get on to the rest of my stuff. So I did find some containers for my Lucky Bamboo. I sell my Lucky Bamboo, 2 stalks, put a little bit of rocks. In fact, I just put in a Chewy order for my dogs, and I usually get the aquarium gravel there because it's the cheapest, and of course you know it doesn't have stuff on it that's going to be negatively affecting living things like fish. So yeah, so that was good. So I ordered that. It's a 40-pound bag. That'll last me a while. So I found the cutest little thing. Look, it's a little camper. Oh, that was adorable. This was $1.99. I don't like to spend more than usually $1 for the ones that I get, but I just couldn't stand that. It was just adorable. I got this plain white one. This was 50 cents. And then this one I think looks like a thimble. At first I was like, oh, it looks like an ice cream cone. No, it looks like a thimble. So this was $1. And it says 2003. So these will be great for my Lucky Bamboo. Put those. I just took some out and I'm going to be ordering some more soon. Let me see. I got, usually when I find the handmade scrubbies, they're usually bigger, but look at him. He's adorable with his mouth open. He was only 99 cents, so I will put a scrubby in him and clean him up really good, and he will go out to my booth. Look at that face. I usually do really well with these. In fact, I think the only ones I have out now are not frog-shaped. They're not vintage. I have a couple of piggies, and I have one's a pumpkin. I forget. But, yes. I found this bundled up the little snowbird, and he adorable. I thought he was cute. He's $2. Little face in there. So I thought that was cute. I'll put him away, of course, until winter. It does say something on this tag. It's just a number. I don't know. Alder, A-L-D-E-R. Never heard of it. But I just thought he was too cute. I got this one. It's a wood sign with the metal on it for $2, and it says "Love lives here." Or does it say just "Love more"? Yeah. I like the ones that are shaped like a tag. Cute. Now these, you know, when I saw them, I kind of laughed because I'm like, these look like the ones in our hotel room. And they must have been, because there was literally boxes and boxes of these, and they were $0.10. I think the tag came off, but I needed something to cover the one I have in a room. So I'm like, $0.10? Yeah, we can do that. This is a metal sign that says, don't get any bright ideas. I already thought of them all. Isn't that adorable? I like the old style of it. I paid $3. So, and it's got a little place to hang it. Or a couple little holes where you could put something across there so you don't see that. But I thought that was cute. So, and I am looking for, I am needing more small art in my booth. I've been looking, trying to, oh, I need some more. Let me just go grab some. There's nothing to grab. They had some magnets and this cute little ornament that were $0.25 each. This one says Susan 1975. Isn't that cute? And then this one says Bastin. That was 10. This was 10 cents. She was 25. This one is 10 cents. It says Vegas. And then this one also was $0.10, and it says Vegas. So I'll probably just throw these in my mystery bags. For $1.50, I got these adorable little birds, and they are salt and pepper shakers. I have sold these before. I'll probably go for $4.50, something like that. More salt and pepper shakers. I got some pumpkins, and they do have the plugs. They had 99 cents on each of them. I never understood why people did that, why they priced them individually, but what do I know? But yeah, those are cute, so those will get put away until fall. Ashtrays sell, so I've been kind of keeping my eye out for them. And when I saw this little guy, I'm thinking he is adorable. He was only $1, and he's a little turtle ashtray. How sweet. So yeah, so I will clean him up really good. I'll look him up just to make sure he's not worth anything, but off the top of my head, I'd say probably $6, $7 on him. I'm always buying these if I can find them cheap enough. People like them for just staging. I don't think most people use them to draw. This was 99 cents. So there he is. So that'll go out to my booth. These mugs are cute and they are vintage, so I might do a little research. It's very hard to read the bottom, but they are very cute. So it's like an open window, and we have a little bed with books in the back and a little pillow, and it's on both sides. And then this one is same artist, but it's you got a little shelf with a candle and a picture and teacup and a teapot and a little chair, like an open window with the shutters. Thought that was cute. So these were 50 cents each. I also picked this up for probably 50 cents. It doesn't have a top, but I thought that would be cute and rustic for my bamboo. It's a good with the bamboo. I don't know. It seems like I go through streets where I find a ton of them, and then other times I'm like, I need them. I can't find them. I told you in my last video about the yarn I have to make pumpkins. Happily, I found more. So we have orange and green, and it's this chunkier yarn. So this was $4.99. But I make, here, I'll show it to you again, because I always have it here, is what I make. Little pumpkins. And I had some I did like a little raffia. I tied like a little raffia piece on there. Yeah, just my pumpkins. So I might do a video on that. But again, this is a sit in front of the TV, work on it kind of deal. This little sign says hello, and it's got a bird. Isn't that cute? I think I paid $1 for this. I got an absolute ton. I'm going to try and go through these quick. These were only $1/4 each or 5 for $1. I never ever find these. Rarely do I ever just find them out in the wild. And they are lots of handkerchiefs. So I was very happy. I think I paid maybe 6 something, so that tells you how many I got. I'll show you a couple of the cute ones, but this one says 1951. That was a year before my parents were married. Oh, that's so sweet. And it has all the months on it. Oh, isn't that adorable? So I'll just talk while I'm going through these. So there was another lady that was looking at them, and she picked up 1 or 2 and then walked off. So I swooped in. Some of these are so thin. It's so funny. It's like, quick, pick up my handkerchief. So a lot of these, somebody spent a lot of time working on them, and I appreciate that. Look at this one. That could have been more of a guy's one even. We got daisies, and then more daisies, and then there's this one. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these yet. I might, I don't know, some of them, a couple of them, they're not in the best state, so I might use those in my my gift bags. I don't really have a place to display, so I don't know, maybe I'll use these in my mystery bags. So just quickly finish going through these. Look at that. Who has the patience for that? I just came across a video on TikTok that was where they were doing the lace with all the little things, and they're all just kind of shoveling them around. You couldn't pay me enough to learn how to do that. You know, a lot of things just fall by the wayside because they don't pass those type of things on to anybody anymore. That one's really pretty. There's another, I think that one's got little butterflies on it, or is that flowers? They're flowers. And we got these, and then this one. Oh, just so many of them. So I don't know how many I got. maybe 30 of them. Look at that one. Ah, so pretty. Anything purple or green and purple, I just love it. And then this one, and then, ooh, look at this one. Look at the green of this one, and then the pink of the flowers. And then this one, all around the edge. But like I said, some of them are coming a little undone, but somebody would just love these because they are vintage. And then that one, two more. That one, and then this one. Oops, and I found for a nickel a New York, New York. So let's wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 29, 30, 31, 32. I didn't think you wanted to sit here and see me count to 32. So, oh, just love those. So pretty. So I'll toss a few ideas around on what I should do with those. Might even look it up and see if they got like lots of them on you know, eBay or something, who knows. Saw this, debated, put it back, went back and got it. I ended up, I was like on the fence of getting it. And then somebody in the back, I don't know if they hurt themselves, but they ended up having to call an ambulance. And it was just like, let me just pay and get out of here. There were people helping her and they had called somebody. And so if I can't help, I stay out of the way. That's my job. So I got this really pretty, very heavy birdhouse. And I think it was 7. I don't know why I was hem-hawing so much. But the nice thing about these two is this one has a door so you can clean it out. So very heavy, very cute. So that was 7. Woof. And then I got 2 last items. Making sure I got everything. This, I swear, I'm going to put these in my yard. And I'm sorry if you don't like the crinkly. These are only $3. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. Maybe I'll sell these at my booth. Who knows? I need a couple though. I need a couple. There's 2 particular people in my neighborhood with dogs who let their dogs poo-poo everywhere. So how about this? Please clean up after your pet. And it's got a little place to put the sign and a little thing to stick it in the ground. Canine cleanup sign. So yeah. So I'll at least use 2 of these, one by my driveway and one by the telephone pole. Telephone poles are popular stuff. I don't know, strange. I mean, I know dogs stop and pee every 30 seconds, but it is what it is. And then the last item I got is probably, you know, I love fabric, but other than the fabric, this was probably my favorite find. It was $2.99. And it's a clock. Hey, the stranger, the weirder shape, I am all about it. So it's this little half bowling pin. And it runs because I checked it because I had my bag that had my batteries in it. So, and this is a vintage item. I'm trying to look. It says made in USA. So that you automatically know right there. But $2.99, that was a very good deal on that. And I just thought somebody will love this. Somebody who loves bowling, who's hard to find a gift for, there you go. Or a man cave, or in somebody's garage, or whatever. And I got little bits of everything. And I had a Bucky sticker, so I put it on my little sweeper for my desk. So that's all I got on vacation. So let me tell you my stories real quick, because it's 29:06. So we get down there, we get our room. By the time we got down there, it was probably like 9 at night. It was a good 8.5 hour, 8 if you just drove straight through, didn't stop. But of course, we didn't do that. We stopped in Kentucky to see my husband's cousin and his wife. We had dinner with them, and it was literally on the way. It couldn't have been, I mean, it wasn't out of the way at all. Not that it would have not had us not stop, but it was so fun to see them. We saw them a while ago when they came up with their, they came up in their camper, and it was just awesome to see them. And they have a Great Dane, an older Great Dane. She's got a lot of white on her face, named Gracie. And then they have a little Yorkie, but he's not a little Yorkie. He's a little dog compared to the other dog, but he's a decent size. And you go to this little underbite. He was so cute. And then they adopted this is a Great Dane Mastiff mix, and she is, I can't think of her name right now. They call her something and then they shortened it. I don't know if I remember. I'll stick it in the description box. But she looked like Marmaduke. So her head was like big like a Mastiff, and around here she was black. So she looked like Marmaduke, and she still had the energy of a puppy. So one of my funny stories is Mr. Pudgy Picker loves dogs. They can be this big, they can be as big as a house, and he just loves them. So we stayed there. We were actually, when we came back, we stopped and stayed at their house. They put on such a beautiful spread of food. They smoked some wings and some steak and had corn on the cob done on the grill. I mean, they just really spoiled us bad. So when we came back up, we stayed there, and then we drove the rest of the way home. And that's when we got to see the puppies. But it was just so neat to see, my husband is just like, dogs! And it's funny because he had missed the dogs all week, and I knew he would. He kept saying, I miss my dogs. So I was like, I know. So next morning, he gets up, he goes out, and is talking to them, and they're getting breakfast. Breakfast was a big spread, too. And then I took a shower, and then I got dressed, and I came out, and Mr. Pudgy Picker has blood all over his shirt. And I'm like, holy cow, did somebody punch somebody? No, he came out, he sat on the floor, and was starting to roughhouse with this other dog. Man, I wish I could think of her name. It starts with an A. But he was roughhousing and playing with her, and she's batting at him. And she somehow caught his nose, and he just... He's had nosebleeds since he was a kid, but man, I tell you, it was all over his shirt. It looked like someone just popped him in the nose. So I came out, I'm like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And he starts laughing. And so he's like, yeah, because we just brought a bag with a change of clothes. We didn't want to drag our suitcases in for one night. So I said, you know what, before we leave, I'll go out and get you a shirt. That didn't happen. So we're starting to drive, and he's like, oh crap, I forgot to change my shirt. So we stopped somewhere along the way to get some Dunkin' Donuts, and he goes in there and he's ordering his coffee, and he's like, they kept looking at me weird, and I couldn't figure out why until I got in the car, and then I realized, oh my gosh, I got blood all over my. They're probably like, oh my God, this man killed someone. So there was that. So while we were down in Tennessee, I would go for walks around the area. There was like a little creek that wound through, and so I spent some time outside. We were down there for a week. We were in this particular room. Now it had 2 bedrooms, a fully functional kitchen. Like one had a washer dryer. I mean, it was nice. It was really nice. So I don't know, before COVID, we had made reservations to go down to like a little cabin down in Holmes County, Ohio, to the Amish country, and ended up with everything being closed down. So we went down there. I wiped everything down. We went and got groceries, and I made most of our dinners and our lunches and breakfasts. And so it was a way to get away, but not have to go out and be exposed to, a lot of things, and restaurants weren't open and all that. So it seems like we've been doing that over the last couple of years on vacation. So that's what our idea was this time, maybe go out for 1 or 2 meals, and then the rest of the time have, fruits and vegetables and stuff that we would just roast and cook and make. So that's what we did. So I spent like $175 on groceries, and of course I forget sweetener and coffee and all that stuff. So all that being said, we got everything moved in. We were there 2 days, and I have a bowl. I had Mr. Pudgy Picker's apples and oranges. He loves apples and oranges. And then the other one had I had some tomatoes, and underneath it I had a couple potatoes. So I had them sitting there. The next morning I got up, and Mr. Pudgy Picker had gotten up early. He ended up having to do more work than he should have, that's a whole nother story that we will not get into here. But he was sitting there in the little dining room, you know, typing away. And I said, do you want some coffee? And I had gotten him some English muffins. So he's like, yeah, if you could, you know, throw those in the toaster. So I was like, okay. So I go in there and I happen to look at the bowl. Now, it looked like someone picked up this apple and went and like took a third of it out and then put it back in the bowl. So I'm standing there looking, and then I look over and there's nibbles out of all 3 of the tomatoes that were sitting in that bowl. And I don't mean like nibble, nibble, mouse, mouse, nibble. I mean, blah, 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 something bigger than a mouse. So I was like, I walked out of there and I said, you need to come in here and look at this. And me and Mr. Pudgy Picker have been married and around each other so long that, you know, when you say something, you know, oh, come here, you got to look at this. What is it? Oh, you know, you just got to come look. Well, what is it? And then you know the serious when you say, you need to come in here and look at this right now. And they don't say, what is it or what happened? They just look at you and they get up and they walk in and say, so he leans over and he's looking, he's like, holy cow, we have mice. And I said, that's not a mouse. And if it is a mouse, it's an army of mice, because that apple was a third gone. So we called up front. They're like, do you want to move rooms? And I was like, oh my God, the idea of moving all of our junk and everything I had bought at the grocery store and was in the fridge. And they were like, we could come over, we'll wipe everything down, we'll sterilize the kitchen, we'll put out some traps. And I don't know what I was drinking, but I was like, okay, let's try that. Looking back, probably shouldn't have done that. But so nothing, didn't hear anything the rest of the day. They also gave us a $50 gift card. That was a nice touch, although they comped us nothing else for any issues. But I'll tell you what it actually was, and then you'll be like, oh my God. So we're still trying to at least see what can be done on that before we leave a negative review. So got the gift card, whatever. It was fine. Went to bed. That night I couldn't, it was the first night I really couldn't sleep, and I kept hearing things in the kitchen. And when you're somewhere you don't are normally at, when you're in your house, you're like, oh yeah, that's the furnace starting, or oh yeah, that's the floor, it pops every time when it cools off to 60 degrees. And if you hear something, you're like, that doesn't sound right, I'll go look. So I didn't know. So I think I was sitting in the living room, not being able to sleep, scrolling on my phone, and they're in there noshing on my food on the counter. So they came in, wiped everything up, disinfect everything, floor, everything, cabinets, put out the traps, nice people, talked to them, blah, blah, blah. They left. Next morning, Mr. Punchy Picker gets up, and he said, I went to work on the computer, and he said, I heard something in the kitchen. So he was like, I went over, and he said, I flipped the switch on, and he said, there's 2 rats, like rats, on the counter. And he was like, ah. So they hopped down and made for the fireplace. Now, this is a fireplace where you go up and you just, you do that, and then it tick, 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 and turns off after half an hour. So they went, and it's like flat, and then it's got this metal part. So they pulled that corner up and hopped in and slammed shut. So now we knew at least how they were getting in and out. So my husband went over, and he bang, 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 trying to see if they'll leave, and he hears, he turns his phone on, and the light on his phone, and looks, and there's a raccoon sitting in there too. There's a raccoon sitting there like, hey, did you guys bring anything? So 2 rats and a raccoon. This sounds like a cartoon, doesn't it? Yes, this has actually happened to me. So he's like, ugh. So it was about the time I was getting up. He's like, well, this is what they are. This is how they're getting in. This is what's going on. And I'm like, that's it. We got to move. So I think we had 2 more nights. So literally, and I felt like I was starting to get a little bit of a cold. I hate that when you get sick on vacation. It was just enough where I felt kind of pooped out. So he was on the phone with work. Whole situation there blew up. So he was on the phone and on the computer a lot. So ended up where I went up, I said, that's it. He called and we got to change rooms. So I went up, got it was a wristband with the little tag and you just hold it up. So that was kind of cool. But I went and got the new key. I went back. He's on the phone working. I got all of our stuff packed up, loaded in the car, drove it like to the other side of the complex, went up, loaded, put all of our crap, put it away, took our suitcases, everything. We have a fan because we can't sleep without a fan, so I had to take that. Went back. I got all of the food bagged up, ready to go. Got that in the car, drove it over. Literally everything but Mr. Pudgy Picker, the clothes he was wearing, and his computer he had his hands on, everything was moved. And I'm not feeling so great anyway, so I'm like death warmed over. I'm like, it's all moved. Let's just go. So we left the key there. We went over to the other place. The other one, it is like in a newer part of this huge complex. They've got golf courses and like a huge restaurant and a big golf shop, and so it's like this huge complex where we were staying. But I liked this one better. I mean, it actually had a porch off of the living room where it was not backed up to other places. It was looking into the woods. So we did enjoy the last 2 days we were there, but as soon as I got him, and got everything put away in the fridge, I literally went and took like a 3-hour nap. I did feel better, so I don't know if that was the start of what he's got now. Who knows? If I gave it to him, I'd feel terrible about it. But can you believe that? Rats! And he's like, it's a good thing it was me, because if it would have been you, he said you would have screamed. Now, if I see a mouse in my house, I'm like a little but I'm not like, like some people do. But if I would have seen 2 rats and then a raccoon, I think I would have screamed. I would have screamed at that. So, it's funny because we're driving home, and Mr. Pudgy Picker, the way his mind works is he'll be sitting there and he'll just start, I'm like, what? Like, what? What are you laughing at? And he's like, we can never have a normal vacation, can we? And I said, nuh-uh. And then I go, you know what, though? This is going to be a great story for my YouTube channel. And it was. Whew. If you're still here, you're a real champ. But I appreciate it. Everything's a little bit weird here in the Pudgy Picker land, but we managed to get through. So, as I always say, my husband always says, so, we're going to, this is, we'll laugh about this someday. And I always say, yeah, but not today. So, week out of it, I'm fine. I can laugh about it. But good gracious. So funny. So that is all I got for you today. What I bought on vacation. What weird and wonderful things happened to me on vacation. And I will sign out before you're all, hey, you're all asleep. Wake up, wake up. Wake up, I'm signing off. So make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. You can also share. I appreciate when you share my videos. If there's anybody out there that's never heard of me or never seen me or doesn't know what I do, and you think they need a little dose of Pudgy Picker, send it on over to their way. You can also put it in your Facebook. And if you got lots of friends, encourage them to subscribe. This is the way to help me, help my channel, help and make a couple extra bucks with YouTube to help me continue to do what I'm doing. And that's what I love to do. So I will see you guys next time. And until then, happy picking. Bye.